What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is me, Zello the Casual Card Gamer, and today we're going to be looking at the final deck that I will be trying to make a deck profile for post D-BT02, and we have Bruce. So let's get straight into this deck. Alright, so first things first, we have our ride deck. So we have Diabolos Innocent Matt. When you go second, draw a card. Nothing new there. Next, we have Diabolos Bad Steve. His ability is when he is placed on Vanguard, you may choose a card from your soul. So basically, you take Matt from your soul, call it to the rear guard circle behind him, and then soul charge 1. Then his second ability is when you are in Final Rush, he gets +5. Next, we have Diabolos Anger Richard. So his ability is when he is placed on Vanguard, choose a rear guard, put it into your soul, and draw a card. So most of the time, it'll just be Matt going back into your soul, unless somehow he gets retired, which would really suck. But yeah, as long as that doesn't happen, you get that draw. And second ability is, if you are in Final Rush, he gets +5k. Last but not least, the final flavor of D-BT02, we have Diabolos Violence Bruce. So at the beginning of your ride phase, you Final Rush. So Bruce is called the turn 4 deck because literally almost nothing happens until you start Final Rushing people. And yeah, it's been really, really good. I've loved playing Bruce, and with the D-BT2 stuff, it's just really gross. And with the new D-BT3 stuff already being revealed, Bruce is just going to get even more OP, and it doesn't even feel fair. Plus, another deck that I won't mention that starts with a B, but we also have his other ability. When he attacks Soul Blast 5, stand your front row rear guard. So that's pretty simple. Again, as long as you're in Final Rush, you can do that. The Bruce, I love playing Bruce going first because I'm able to do things a lot faster. And going second, you do get the extra draw and the first attack, but I would just want Final Rush earlier than as early as possible. Anyway, let's get into the main deck. So for the grade 3s, we have 3 more copies of Bruce, of course, for them sweet Persona rides. Next, we have 2 copies of Upward Acrobat Marjorie, because I don't know where the rest of mine went. I think I sold them. But Marjorie's ability is once per turn when she attacks, if you are in Final Rush, choose another rear guard, put it into your soul, draw a card, soul charge 1, and she gets +10k until the end of turn. This is really good because Bruce lets you restand your front row rear guards, and if she restands on Persona right turn, she's 33k by herself. So that's really nice. And next, a card that made this deck a lot more annoying than it already was. We have 4 copies of Hellblast Full Dive, so you counterblast 1 to play it. Draw a card, choose a card from your hand, and call it to a rearguard circle. Then, if you are in Final Rush, your front row gets +10k until end of turn, which doesn't even feel fair for a counterblast 1. But yeah, there it is. It is an option, and I take it, and that is it for the grade 3s. Next, we move into the grade 2s. We play 4 copies of Diabolos Jetbacker Leonard. His ability is, if you are in Final Rush, he gets +5k, and he attacks every unit in the row that he is attacking. So if goodbye boosters, basically. And when his attack hits, you can soul charge 1, choose a card from your soul if your Vanguard is Bruce, and call it, and that's it. It's crazy, because if you swing at a rear guard lane and you hit both rear guards in that lane, you soul charge 2 and call 2. So that is Leonard. Next, we have 4 copies of Eden, Diabolos Boys Eden. So if you are in Final Rush, he gets +5, and when he restands, he gets a crit on top of that. So some nice crit pressure, like the deck needed it. And when this unit's attack hits, counterblast 1 and retire one of your opponent's rear guards. And that is it for the grade 2s. Nothing much there. Did take out the Selfish Engravers, and I believe it was the Electro Spartans, because with what Bruce has now, the soul charging has just become a lot more smooth, and you don't really need any outside stuff. I think it was just, first set dilemmas. But anyway, we have 4 copies of Recusal Hate Dragon for the grade 1s, 4 copies of Monitoring Gear Dober. So, of course, Recusal Hate Dragon is Sentinel. And Dober's ability is, at the end of the battle that it boosted, you can put it into your soul. If you're in Final Rush, choose one of your units, and it gets plus 10k until end of turn. So, really, really good card. Goes into the soul by itself, and you get plus 10k. You can put it on whatever. If you have an Eden that is about to restand and you want that crit to be really, really big, you can have Dober. If you have Leonard that you want to swing at your opponent's Vanguard with a booster behind it, just to make sure that you get 2 procs off of that attack, you have Dober. I probably wouldn't use it with Bruce just because you only get 1 attack with him. But you can put it on Bruce if you wanted. Or Marjorie. Marjorie gets really big with it as well. Anyway, moving on. I still play 3 copies of Protobulb Dragon, so when it boosts or attacks, if you're in Final Rush, you can counterblast 1, choose one of your other rear guards, put it into your soul, choose 1 card from your soul, and add it to your hand. I like to use this to just constantly replace my Bruces, so I'm persona riding every turn and making myself very, 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 very annoying. So 3 copies of that, as well as 2 copies of Diabolos Madonna Mabel. So her ability is, when she boosts a Vanguard, if you are in Final Rush, counterblast 1, choose 1 of your Vanguards, and it gets triple drive until end of turn. So it's really nice for Bruce because you get to cycle, not cycle, but you get to have more chances to pull triggers for your enlarged attacks, which is really good. So yeah, I only play 2 copies because if she goes into the soul, then you can bring her out with Protobulb, you can get her out with Leonard. If she goes into the damage zone, that's kind of another story. You can't really do anything there, but that is what the extra copy is for, just in case the first one goes into the damage zone. Anyway, that is it for the grade 1s of the deck. Moving into the triggers, we have, of course, we have Hades Dragon, Deity of Resentment, Galmagaheld. Ability is get 100 mil, draw a card, remove it from the game. Then for the rest of the game, your Vanguard gets plus 10k and 1 crit. It'll be really nice once Greedon comes out because Greedon lets you restand. So there's Galmagaheld. Next, I play 6 crits. 6 crits because crits are fun, and then of course 5, almost said stand triggers, 5 front triggers. So I play, of course, 4 copies of Diabolos Girls Natalia and 1 Diabolos Officer Killian. The 4 copies of Natalia because plus 5k shield is really, really good. And the extra front because the more chances you get, especially with Mabel, the more impactful those front triggers are going to be, because if your opponent can't guard at all, then it's great. And last but not least, we run, of course, 4 heal triggers, and that is it for this week's deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and that will be it for the deck profiles for now until D-BT03 rolls around, which is in, I believe, December 17, something like that. So I'm excited for the Lyrical Monasterio stuff, of course, and yeah, I can't wait to see where the meta goes come D-BT03, because a lot of OP support, and Bruce is no exception to that support. So thank you guys so much for watching. Guys, make sure that you hit the thumbs up if you liked the video. Subscribe, tell your friends if you think that they'll enjoy what we got going on over here on the channel. And also, yeah, leave your comments and suggestions down below for what I should do next. There are no more decks to do unless you guys want me to do the Anchor. The Anchor Alchemagic deck, basically. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I am Jello, the Casual Card Gamer. Take care.